Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and him. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
We did it, Joe. We did it. We made it on time, kind of. I think.
Kind of, sort of.
You know, the song went right. You know, we did everything we're supposed to do. How you doing, brother?
I mean, we made it work. We made it work so that we can get out here on time. I know what that's about.
Boy.
Actually, they moved my daughter's softball practice to tonight and Wednesday because it's supposed to rain like crazy tomorrow here.
Uh-huh.
So I do gotta hurry up and get out of here right with you.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna be out on time.
We're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna pew pew.
We're gonna try to deliver the best show possible, but we gotta go.
No doubt. With that being said, welcome everybody. You caught us kind of with our pants down a little bit. We were rushing to get here and set up. I literally got here like 15 minutes ago.
Both cheeks out.
So I think we've gathered ourselves enough here to kind of just dive right in. Bro, how was your weekend?
I'm glad you asked. You know, this is one of the favorite weekends of the year. Greek Fest.
That's right. I knew it. I knew that's what it was coming down to.
Man, when I tell you we went up there, 2 adults, 1 under 12 years old, you get them for $4. And they got the signs up there and it says, this is how much this costs, this is how much that costs. If you know what it is, you're good. So I get into the thing and I'm like, okay, let me just think. I'm tabulating everything in my head. I said, what am I going to spend? What am I going to spend? She keeps calling me. I said, hold on a second. Let somebody else go. I got to think. I got to do my math because I want extra tickets.
Okay.
I said, all right, let me get 100 tickets. She was like, 100? I said, 100 tickets. So first thing we did.
Damn.
Right to the Slovaki on a stick.
Wow.
And I said, T, she said, I already got the assignment. I said, see how many we get? And I said, get 10 at $5 a piece. Now I'm thinking about $50 for those little meats on the sticks. That's tough to swallow. But it's euphoria. No. Euphoria.
I need the stick
of protein. Yes.
Put one in each knuckle, like Wolverine, just be sitting there just chewing through my knuckles by the time
So we get that. See, this year we were prepared. T brought the Tupperware. Tupperware foil and had a beach bag. We were ready.
It with you. Yeah, you was definitely ready.
We were ready. So then we went to the back tent and I'm like, okay, let me tabulate. Okay. I got how many? Because Ken wanted. I'm thirsty. Fine. I had to go get my beer first, and I was shocked they didn't have my Mythos. They had something called Fix. Lucky it was good. Still a Greek beer.
Okay.
But I wanted my Mythos, which I get every year.
What would you say is the difference between regular beer and Greek beer?
I think it just has a lower alcohol content.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me, but it tastes refreshing.
Does anything really do anything for you?
Enough of them will.
Enough of them will.
So we get up there, and then I'm like, okay, time to get our entrees. Ken, what you want? I don't know. Oh, damn. Okay.
Figure this one out.
He's still on his meat on the stick. I said, okay, cool. He said, I said, which one do you drink? He said, let me get not water. I said, cool. Thanks for the help. Went back there. They said, we got Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, and Starry. I'm like, well, I'm not going to give a 9-year-old Pepsi because that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So let me get the Starry, which I'm not a big fan of, but it did all right.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, got him a Starry and got Tia Starry too, but she threw in the bag because she didn't want it. I was like, whatever. So I went back. I said, you know what? I'm short. I need more tickets. I said, Miss Ticket, ma'am, I need 50 more. She was like, I said, are you judging? Are you judging me?
I would ask that at that point if she kept making that face like, yo, I'm hungry, okay? I came here to eat. Right. You sell food here. Why would you be surprised that I'm buying a lot of damn food?
We barter cash for food.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought that's how this worked.
You got to pull your pants leg up, show a little leg out there in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about
She's like, I mean, I have a 6-foot monster at home that eats inside of my house at home too. So I guess I'm like, that's cool.
Well, I'm 6'6".
Right. So I got him give me the tickets. So we go, and then I got to get mom 3 more meat on the sticks. So I got her 2, Ken another one, so he wouldn't eat none of hers. Then she wants baklava. I don't know how much that costs.
Okay.
I think I spent about $160 up there, which is fine. But then I had to go get them Wendy's to make sure they had enough food on top of the Greek food that I bought them, or I bought Ken and the surplus of mom. So I don't know how much money I spent this weekend.
It basically ensures you don't have to cook, though. I mean, you know, it's the same.
You would think.
Okay.
But that's part of the reason why I'm late today.
Oh, man.
Because I had to cook
We ain't
dinner.
got no meat sticks left. What the hell was I doing all of that for on Saturday?
Like the regular scheduled program. I mean, nobody said they knew me at the Greek Fest. I was upset. I wanted somebody to say, hey, you're that guy that I hate. I'm like, yeah, that's me. You know, I was hoping. But it didn't happen. And, you know, then
why would you ever walk up to a 6'6", 270-pound dude and say, hey, you're that guy I don't like?
A lot of witnesses.
For real?
Yeah. You're like, I got witnesses. Damn it. Respect.
For sure.
And then, you know, yesterday we had Ken had a birthday party for his best man. And speaking of birthdays, how was it?
Oh, somebody had a birthday?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Me either. I just know somebody calls me old right now is blasphemy. Blasphemy. Yeah, I'm a month and a week or whatever older. So what? The tables have evened themselves out right now. We are both 42. Yes.
You love it so
I love this day when it comes. Because every time you call me old is futile. We're the same age.
Yo, as soon as it turned May 1st, you was like, I can't wait.
I
can't wait.
Friday night midnight, I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm not gonna text him now, but it's coming.
No, it was, you know what? It was definitely one of the better birthdays I had in a while. I had this one point in the day where me and the wife were just sitting on the couch. We went and got some
food.
No, we got some lunch from Vasily's. I'll tell that story in a moment. We got some lunch from Vasily's Express on Elmwood and Breckenridge.
Okay.
It's right across the street from Mr. Pizza.
Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Pizza, by the way.
There you go.
But what was cool about that is we actually found out that there's this little garden walkthrough that so two houses right behind that Mr. Pizza there. These people are like avid gardeners. They sell flowers and stuff. They got a little sign outside in the driveway says, you know, flowers for sale in driveway. It kind of looked like one of those, you know, I'm gonna kidnap you kind of signs, but you know, my wife wanted to explore and I was there. So, okay, cool. Let's go take
42. If this is it,
I'm telling you, if we was both black, we wouldn't have went in that driveway. Like, no disrespect to any other color of skin, bro, but nah, that's just not something you do. Like, we was all the way in these people's driveway and the guy didn't even know we was there. He came out of the little walk guard,
right.
Like, because they have like an area where all the flowers are laid out that you can look to buy, and then another an area of the yard that's like really done up real nice. They got like a whole, you know, kind of staged area back there to sit and relax, and flowers everywhere, foliage everywhere. It's beautiful, right? He just comes walking out of there. Oh, I didn't see you here. Like, oh, okay. Like I'm trying to be like back towards the driveway so I'm not imposing, because like when I stand up, I can be a little imposing, but yeah. Like I'm trying to be, you know, as least imposing as I possibly can be. Hey, how you doing? You know, and so we end up marking it down because they do these walkthroughs not the week where you can kind of like, you know, go into the, you know, done up area that they have. I highly recommend it. It looks like a really beautiful area. If you're not familiar with that area, Elmwood is kind of like one of the biggest walking areas in the city, if not the biggest, during the day. Nighttime is Chippewa for sure, but during the day, Elmwood is that spot. You know, a lot of shops down that roadway there. Anyway, long story short, walking back towards Vasily's, this guy comes out and he's, you know, walking towards this Escalade truck, and I kind of, you know, scoop my wife out of the way a little bit, you know, excuse us, whatever, because it kind of looked like he was in a hurry.
Right.
And he was like, thanks. And he goes into his truck and he reaches out, he hands us 2 tokens, like, here's a couple of free slices for you guys. Like free slice tokens to take tokens into Mr. Pizza.
He just had loose slices in his truck, huh, man? Like,
yeah. So, long story short, I ended up, you know, talking to him about, you know, working out some sort of sponsorship deal with the show. So we're working that out right now. I'm in the process of sending a proposal to him, and we'll see how that goes. So Post Podium Podcast will most likely be on sponsor number 2 after that.
We might be able to eat.
We are growing, people. We are growing. Like, really, like clap that up. That's beautiful. That's great noise right there. That's great noise right there. With that being said, like, there was this point of the day. We had just finished eating, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just in relaxation bliss.
Mm-hmm.
I had the fan blowing a light breeze on me. I didn't have anywhere to be. I wasn't in a rush to try and get anything done. You know, I just sat there for maybe an hour, and I just was. And bro, I haven't been able to do that in forever.
Bro, you're talking like you're our age. I want to, you know, and look, like, this is a joke, but not. I want to be like that, like to sit down and just like, wow, I exist.
Yes,
I exist. I do matter, and I can breathe.
It is such an existential like platform to be on, where you're just like, there's nothing happening. Like, we hear a lot of jokes about this. Like, men are like that. Like, we want peace, and peace means nothing is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the most peaceful moments in my entire life. It was wonderful.
Oh yeah. Shut up, Dank. He said, "Yeah, I sound like a real old man."
Yo, sit down somewhere, all right? Sit down. So that's probably the oldest way to come back and somebody is telling him to sit down somewhere. Sit yourself down somewhere, boy.
Get off my lawn.
Right.
But yeah, no, you're right. You know, when you get this age, you're like, I just want to do nothing. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to know what's up for the night. I don't want to know what the word of party is. Who all over there? I know where I am over here by myself if I can be. I was like, did you get your sleeping blanket? But it sounds like you didn't need one. You just coast it.
Yeah. And
I like it. I like that a lot. I thought to myself when I was at Greek Fest, I said, and somebody can steal my idea. I know Mom will say, you shouldn't have said that. You just do it when you do it. When I retire from because you made me think about it. When I retire from the airport, I'm gonna use some cruddy benefits and start traveling to different festivals.
Yes.
And blog it.
Oh my God. Can we do this together?
Yeah.
Can we please do?
Yeah.
You have no idea how bad I want to travel and
Let's
just
do
do
it.
food. Like,
let's do it.
Bro,
oh,
okay.
Would y'all watch it?
We in there.
Would y'all watch it?
We in there. That's what we doing.
Yes.
That's what we doing. I've been for years. I've been telling my wife I want to do that. I want to do that. And she just okay. She's not she's not into it like that. Like,
no, we gonna do that.
Not that she don't like food, but like I mean, I would love to do that.
Oh, we doing it.
Done.
We doing it.
Done.
Turned 50. Somebody said they turned 50 on the 17th. I think they said.
Oh snap!
I saw it in there somewhere.
Somebody famous had a birthday. Is it Sunday?
Coming up Sunday.
Who had a birthday Sunday?
Sunday.
Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Oh.
Liam Neeson, he's a Gemini, just like me.
He has a particular set of skills.
He does, and one of them is having a birthday in June.
If I get you, I will find you.
Right. So yeah. So I mean, in a nutshell, it was such a great day. I had dinner with the family at Olive Garden. I just wanted to be like in a quieter type of place, which is why I chose Olive Garden over by where we live, which was nice. So ate good, relaxed good. I did a show.
Which I'm not a member, so I couldn't tap in.
Are you serious? No, it was public. It was live.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I released the Madden video yesterday. I think it was right. I think it was yesterday. I released the Madden video yesterday, but I also did a Post Podium Conversations live on Saturday.
And that was for everybody.
It was the last public Post Podium Conversations. But I'll give you a brief overview, right?
Okay, so, here I am over here like I can't get in.
No. I might be able to like send you a link or something.
Maybe. I have the password. I just gotta do better. I was doing too many things at one time trying to figure it out, but
no big deal. But so brief overview of what I talked about that day. I mean, obviously, you know what the marketing deal is, and we've talked about how the Bills market and all that kind of stuff. But I really talked about how the way that we talk about the team and the way that we talk about the moves that they make really tend to attack the identity of fans, especially fans who, for all intents and purposes, really just want to fan. They don't really care about any of the ancillary things, in their mind, ancillary things like winning championships or any of that stuff. Not saying they don't want championships, but it's just not like it. Winning a championship is not going to change their fanhood in their minds, right? And I don't even mean any of that communication to be disrespectful towards them. I'm simply trying to find the best way to explain. Some people really aren't in it like you and I are in it, where like we want multiple wins. We want at least one to talk about in our lifetime, but we want to see multiple. We want to be that, well-respected dynasty type of team like the Chiefs have been, like the Patriots have been. You know what I mean? Like that's where you and I would love to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that there are a contingent of fans that are just more reticent to just, well, we'll get there one day. I don't want to stress out about it. I just kind of want to, enjoy the trip. You know what I'm saying? And here I am trying to do 90 down the freeway to hurry up and get to the destination.
Yeah, I think that's my split, because I can understand both sides. Mm-hmm. Before Josh, those are boys out there. We lose all the time, 6 and 10.
Right.
Fine.
Ride or die. So what? We'll get there.
Hey, we got
It'll
it.
Happen.
Josh comes in, we hit step behind Diggs. We're making people look stupid. And now we're like, oh, now James Cook. Oh, now wait a minute. Wait, why are we not winning?
Yep.
Let me figure this out. So that's where the negativity comes, because if you're going to give me the baby, let me keep the baby. Right. If we're going to suck, cool. But don't show me the other side.
Right.
I don't want to know the other side, because now it hurts when we don't get to the promised land. Mm-hmm. We all year long we're yes we're 5-0, we're 6-2, we're 10. We got the division by week 13. Oh snap!
Right.
But then that albatross, the divisional round. Yep. It's like, damn, is this it? Like I always make the association to video games, where you get to that level you just can't beat.
Yeah.
You're like, it was fun. Okay.
Right.
And I mean, anybody that plays Call of Duty Zombies, if you know, I forget what the board is called, but there's a board. It's like 1940s setting. And around 8 or 9, this big monster comes where you got to shoot his eyes out, and you can't outrun him. And it's just like, you got to do it in a certain sequence or he kills you. And me and T are like, well, here he comes. So I guess we're done.
I tried playing that game with y'all one time. Nope, I'm done. I'm good. Y'all can have it.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you see it coming, you know it's coming, and you're trying to have fun until it's over, but you can't, because you know it's coming soon.
Right.
And I just want to be that team. I don't care about my homes and this thing. I don't care about neighbors, and I don't care about none of that. I don't care about Lamar and his contract situation. Yeah. I want to know when we're going to do whatever we got to do to get over the top. And the fun of this show was trying to prognosticate and figure out what we can do. So the negativity aspect is us going against the grain, because the grain ain't working.
Yeah.
It hasn't. Well, we don't know what Brady's going to do, but recent history dictates it hasn't worked. So why do we talk about something that's not working? Let's talk about how we can try to fix it.
True. And I think, excuse me, I think that's where, people who kind of get tired of us having these more in-depth conversations about it perceive what we say. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the other things I talked about on Post-Podium Conversations, was the perception of what we say versus what we actually say. Because you and I have, by a lot of parameters and measurements, we have higher standards for the team than most people do. Mm-hmm. And that gets turned into, well, you expect the team to be perfect. Well, no, we never said we expected perfection. Well, you expect the team to never make mistakes, and nobody's perfect, and everybody. No, we never said we don't expect them to not make mistakes.
Right.
Well, you expect them to do what everybody else is doing. No, not what everybody's doing. Maybe just take bits and pieces from the teams that are doing better than you, and maybe incorporate some of that. Right.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, for where we are as a fan base within the Post-Podium community. Right. I think the idea here is understanding that there's room for improvement. Right. And when you communicate to somebody that there's room for improvement, there's two ways to take that. The first way is you're insulted because the person is taking that as, well, you're saying I'm not enough.
Yeah.
And you're saying that what I've done is not good enough. And sometimes not good enough is encouragement to have and do better.
What's good, Pierre? I was just saying, what's up, Pierre? He said, "What's up, fellas?"
What's going on, my man? How you been?
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes taking it that way could lead you to better things. And I would equate that to the pursuit of happiness of every person in this world. We come out of the womb, we develop a perspective, a culture that we're born into, and if we're born poor, what tends to happen? We usually strive to have more things. Why? Because we want better than what we've had, right? So what I'm saying is it's innate within all of us to want to have better than we've had before. And I think you touched when you mentioned this and what you were saying just a few minutes ago, it lined up perfectly with this thought that I was having at the time, which is, bro, we grew up in the drought. Like that was our, it was 4 Super Bowls and not winning one. And then the drought was all of our, the memory of being, interested in the Bills. And that's the equivalent to poverty. We grew up in football poverty for many, many years. So the second we get a chance to buy a Rollie, we want a damn Rollie. Don't give me an Apple Watch and tell me, oh, this is worth $10 million. You should appreciate this every day. Why I can't handle bling?
Right.
What you feel me? You feel me? Like, and I think that's where the disconnect, becomes this massive debate between Bills fans, where it basically stems from those people who just want to be content with what they have and not stress out about what they don't have, which is it's a good moral standing in a general life sense. But there are certain things in life, like sports, where you do have the liberty to expect more when you see other teams doing things that your team is not. When you see the Rams going all out to win a Super Bowl, and then your GM comes out and says, well, I don't want to be like the Rams and have to go all out and then be terrible for years after that. Yeah, it was 1 year.
Right.
It was like go back and do the research. It was literally 1 year that they were better.
When they did it, they said, well, we got to blow it up, but we'll build it. We'll build it back.
They got it back.
I would love to have a front office say that. All right, fellas. All right, guys and girls. We got you a Super Bowl. It's going to cost you. Give us 2-3 years. We'll be back. And whether it's true or not, just that confidence, that cockiness about it is it.
Yep.
Like nobody's better than me because I can build a team out of nothing.
Yep.
The Phoenix shall rise as long as I'm in power.
Right. That's right.
And I just want to be that. Like you said, we can't suck better to get Jamar Chase and the Rams and stuff like that. And it's like, but you don't necessarily have to. You got something called draft capital.
That's right.
Use it.
That's right. Like I was thinking about this too, because it's really eerie how many times you've heard people talk about this Myles Garrett trade and use the rhetoric. The Bills did not have a Jared Verse-like player. Literally every bigwig in the business in the podcasting field right now who is okay with not the trade not happening is, well, we didn't have that type of player anyway. Okay, where are the reports about the Bills being willing to give up several picks in lieu of a Jared Verse? Why couldn't we give up 2 first-round picks? Were they not willing to take that? We don't have any reports on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think like I'm not trying to start an argument about the point of us not having a Jared Verse-like player. And I'm not even trying to turn this into an argument over whether or not the Browns would take 2 first-round picks. My contention is, when have we seen, other than the Josh Allen trade, the Bills be aggressive in a way that shows they have a desire to get better at a specific position and they think they are getting the best at that position? Right. The Bills, when they drafted Josh Allen, moved up, and for everything that we've heard, that was the guy they identified. They moved heaven and earth to go get that guy.
Yeah.
When is that going to turn into we're going to move heaven and earth for the best pass rusher in this draft?
That's where you say, okay, Oakland or Las Vegas, you tried it, it didn't work. What if we give you this for Max Crosby?
Thank you.
He's not as good as. That's when you start telling me he's not as good as Myles Garrett.
That doesn't.
He's good. No. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's how you pitch.
Yeah.
I'll give you what they gave from Myles Garrett. He's not as good in our eyes as him, but we'll give it up to get the player you're trying to get rid of anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you massage that. Not saying they didn't do it, but I doubt they did. It seems like it's pariah now. Now Crosby's in Las Vegas. He's there now. And on top of the Verse thing, it's like, how do I market Greg Rousseau as a Jared Verse? How do I market, I guess Javon Solomon? Hey guys, you got Jared Verse, you got Myles Garrett, you got whatever, but you don't have this skill set that goes with that perfectly.
Right.
How about throw me a little something and you can have it. Like that's how you negotiate these things and kind of fleece people, if you would. It doesn't have to be fair for us and fair for them. That's why that statement bothers me, because when you're trading, it's never going to be fair.
Exactly.
It's never going to be fair. So let's get out your head.
That's why when you make a trade, it's about the value you see in the investment. Like, yeah, I'm giving up a future, all pro player and several first round picks and second round picks and third round picks and stuff like that for a guy who's 30 years old. But what's the return on my investment? The return on my investment is, who else is going to field a roster better than ours to compete for a championship?
Mm-hmm.
The chances of me winning one skyrocket with Myles Garrett on my defense and all of the other investments that I've made there. And then you combine with that the investment that I made last year to get Devontae Adams, and now you can't stop my offense, and my defense is more than likely going to stop about 90% of the teams in the league. We should pretty much have this in the bag. Like, that's the return on the investment, right? And I get it. Injuries could happen. It could blow up in your face. But the only thing that we've ever seen really blow up in Brandon Beane's face so far has been Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And to a smaller degree, you could say him being willing to trade Stephon Diggs, and not stand up to Sean McDermott on that. But all of how can I put this? All of this concern that you and I have shown over the job that Brandon Beane has done really comes down to not the fact that he addresses situations the way he wants, the fact that he addresses situations the way that he wants, and in an almost seemingly way of ignoring all of the other successes that other teams are having.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's almost, I'm doing this in spite of what everybody else thinks I should do. I think this is how we win. And to that, I would say, dude, you were in marketing for many, many years. What makes you qualified to think you know better than the guys that are winning Super Bowls right now? Like, because that was one of the other things I talked about on PPC. Like, qualifications often get left to the wayside when it comes to guys that get hired in the NFL. Like, think about how Brandon Beane got hired. He had never been a GM before. He'd been assistant GM, but he was gifted the position. Why? Because he knew how to run the perspectives of the team. Sean McDermott thought he was going to be the guy running the whole show for many, many years. And it just so happened that really it was Brandon Beane training all of us to love the team no matter what.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was going to say you too, as I get my key wiser out.
It's necessary.
They said we can offer everything we have and they don't accept it. Then what? We complain about we're not complaining about anything because I don't want anything. I'm just saying that these are the things that could occur if they really wanted to make the move and get somebody. You strike out on Myles Garrett, you say, who's next? You don't just pack your ball up and go home. If you really wanted that, we were in on, everybody's excited. I tell every time somebody say the Bills called on us, what do I always say? They're calling everybody. Mm-hmm. They always say that we leave no stone unturned. So if they wanted something, they would have got it. They don't want it. So why should I complain about something they don't want?
Right.
I'm just sitting here trying to give you an example of what could happen if it falls through and how you try again and how you try to massage the trade market, how you try to massage the psyche of your trade partner and build a relationship, if you will. These are things that we haven't seen them really to do. They'll flip a first round, second round, a draft pick for, a wide receiver. They'll trade up a couple of picks in the draft and you'll hear them say, oh, we moved up to get Kincaid, but you also moved to get Elam. Did you have to? Did you have to trade to get Kincaid? You wanted them, sure.
Right.
But did you have to?
No.
And the thing is, when you're looking at a wide receiver, you didn't think you needed it, but then you turn right around and got Elijah Moore, and then that didn't work, so you go get Amari Cooper, then that doesn't work, so now you go get DJ Moore. When you could be aggressive and move up if you want to. If you see fit, if Joe Brady wanted a wide receiver that isn't in draft or a younger guy that's up and coming, then you make that happen.
Right.
And that's where this is going. This has nothing to do with me being upset about a move. I didn't want Myles Garrett, truth be told. I didn't. So to tell me I'm complaining that's not the case at all.
Yeah, I think I look at it like this. You might see it as complaining, but answer this question. And this who sent that, Dank? Okay. Mm-hmm. So, Dank, how do you feel when people mention 4 Super Bowls in a row? Do you feel a sense of pride? Do you feel a small bit of shame creep up on you? When you hear people talk about 4 Super Bowls in a row, do they usually talk about it in a happy way? Like, yeah, we made 4 Super Bowls in a row. Or do you hear more people talking about, man, if we had only won one of those? Because from my personal experience, every time I've heard 4 Super Bowls mentioned, it's been in joking, it's been in ridicule, it's been in, man, I wish we had won one. Like, how could we make it 4 times and not have won one? There are mostly negative connotations tied to 4 Super Bowls in a row and not winning one. And while we here tend to find a little bit of pride in being the only team to have ever made 4 in a row ever, I think some of that is well, I think most of that is really just trying to add silver lining to a very, very bad situation, which is noble. And I think Buffalo is big on nobility, but that's not what pays the bills around here. You know what I'm saying? Championships is what pays the bills around here. And from an NFL perspective, if you want to be respected as a team that accomplished the goal in any particular season, then you need to come home with the hardware. That's really what it comes down to. So this whole thing about complaining, my point in bringing up the Super Bowls is when we look back at these years of, 13 seconds and the missed catch on 4th and 5 and the missed pass by Josh Allen when he gets hit by Chris Jones here in the playoffs. The year the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl was 13 seconds. Like, everybody feels like we would have won the Super Bowl that year. 2024, the 4th and 5 missed catch. Everybody feels like we would have won the Super Bowl that year. So that's 2 different instances that many, many Bills fans point to say, man, if we had only, right? How many more instances of that are we willing to accept? Like, if you're one of those people that you just kind of take that in stride and it doesn't bother you, freaking pat yourself on the back, break your arm doing that. But there are some of us who want better for the history and the storybook of our franchise. That's really what this comes down to. It's not complaining. It's an expectation of having better things.
Yeah. I mean, and even further, the complaining is a result of trying to explain, for people that say, well, we should have did that. That's all we needed. Just not necessarily. I forget, somebody here while you were talking said to think, what if we wouldn't have traded for Stephon Diggs and got Justin Jefferson? Who said we got Justin Jefferson? How do you know we got Justin Jefferson? We might have went and got a defensive edge like we always do. We might have went and got a defensive tackle like we always do. We might have went and got a cornerback or a safety. And I didn't even know who was there at the time. But I know that for me, looking at how to build this team, looking at what they're looking at doing, I like what I hear from Jim Leonard. I like what I hear from Joe Brady. In theory, I just got to see it, because you got the red Bills things now or whatever it is, where he's pretty much saying it's compete. Everything we do is compete, down to tug of war, down to races, down to relays, and I like that. But it's a mentality of competing now, but that mentality's got to go forward with structure of an offense and the structure of a defense.
Right.
And that's their job to instill. They instill competition when it comes to somebody like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You see out there is barking and talking mess to everybody under the sun and trying to win. Dalton Kincaid flexing because he's the anchor in a tug of war match. You got Terrell Shavers, who I still don't think he had a knee issue because he's never had. It's like he's like day one. He's been walking around like, where is this? What is this dude?
Yeah,
Mega Man. Maybe it wasn't that big of a tear. I don't know, but I'm glad it's not a whole season missed because the way he's moving now. Even if he misses a couple of games, couple of weeks, he's not going to miss the whole season. No setbacks. But when I'm looking at the team construction and how we move forward, I'm trying to erase the past and transition. And if Bean and Brady and Leonard and Carmichael can tell me that they're erasing the past, and even though they weren't seated on this team when the past was happening, if they can negate that and go forward with whatever they're doing, I'll give them everything. I'll give them everything, all the credit in the world. This has never been a crusade against Bean. It's never been a crusade against Brady. It's never been a crusade against this is me voicing the fact that I don't have the confidence to say that I know it's different because McDermott's gone.
Yep.
After doing research, I'm like, I don't know if the narrative was correct. I don't know if what we thought was real. And what it is people combat people like us that don't go with the narrative because the narrative is what it is, because we don't know what we're talking about, evidently. But the point of this show is to give you a different look. The point of the show is to say, you know what? You might not have thought about this aspect. You might not have thought about that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we said on the show, we said, oh, we gotta get rid of McDermott for a year and some change. I was hoping that he would bring a Jim Leonard in and run Jim Leonard's defense.
Yep.
I was hoping. But I also said I don't think that he's ever going to give it up, and I guess that's when he's got to go.
Right, and I mean that. Listen, that could very well be a major part of why they felt they needed to get rid of him, because maybe they did want to change things up on defense to maybe use the players that Brandon Beane was drafting in a better way.
Yep.
And look, for the most part, there's going to be aspects of this defense where certain players that were, good in Sean McDermott's system may not be good in this system, and you may need to get them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm worried that Christian Benford may be one of those players just based off of his athleticism. Now, if you're going to assure me that that these corners are always going to be able to play off, they're not going to have to play press man, they're not going to have to be in the pockets of these receivers all the time, then okay, cool, because that's a lot of what Benford did before that made him good. So sure, I'll take that. But, and that's just an example. I'm not saying Christian Benford is going to be bad in this defense. I'm simply saying there's going to be aspects of this new team that we see that change and may not be a continuation of good from, what the team was under Sean McDermott. So I don't want the expectation to be Sean McDermott is out, we're going to be much better now. And that seems to be, some of these, other podcasters, thought processes when it comes to Sean McDermott being the problem, and now that he's not here, we'll be fine.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it sounds in theory like that's it. I don't care to hear anybody tell me that Beane and McDermott were aligned for the last 2-3 years. I don't care, because it wasn't. The draft didn't line up. The player personnel didn't line up. With the philosophy that was in Buffalo, so you could tell something was going to happen, and that's kind of when I was hoping that Bobby Babich was going to be the guy, and he was calling a different defense altogether.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like, because this was not what we thought we were getting out of McDermott. McDermott was a defensive coordinator for 1 year. We had Leslie Frazier, then we had McDermott, then we had Bobby Babich, who was the puppet for McDermott. But when I'm thinking about McDermott, I thought about this. I thought about Brady. When I did research on DJ Moore under Joe Brady, DJ Moore never had a 1,000-yard season where he didn't have at least 8.4 targets per game. Joe Brady has only allowed Stephon Diggs one season to have over 9 targets a game. Every other season was under 7. So this sounds minute, but the thing is, DJ Moore's a volume guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really a big playmaker in terms of catching it and getting up out of there. He's a volume dude that needs a lot of targets to get going. He gets a lot of receptions. He's got a high clip. But how does that work into Brady's offense? See, this is where I went with the Brady deal. Brady, like McDermott, I have to know that Brady is confident in the players he has on his offense. Because we talked about McDermott and how his defense was soft. Why was it soft? Why was the offense soft under McDermott? Because he didn't trust the players. So how do I know that Joe Brady trusted his offense last year to really run his offense? How do I know that he had the players he wanted?
Right.
And they're going to say, well, he would have drafted. Well, we said that about McDermott too. How come McDermott never got it right? Now I got to hope that Joe Brady gets it right. And that's scary to me. Those are the reservations that I have to see first. I know people are going to say, well, we got this person, we got that person, but still, if I tried to convince you of something and you were still skeptical, should I be mad? You just got to see it. You just got to see it.
Right. And
I thought about it. I said, this offense has to prove to me that it's going to run what Joe Brady likes to run. See, when Joe Brady was the offense coordinator in Carolina, when it was DJ Moore played for him,
mm-hmm.
he had 1,100 yards, right? All 4 of the quarterbacks that they had combined threw for 3,000 yards. He had a third of the yardage. He had 4 touchdowns. They threw 11. They threw 17 total. They threw I'm sorry. They threw 14 total. They threw 21 interceptions. DJ Moore was it. He's all they had. So how does that fit into everybody eats when we're trying to get the ball all around everybody? Josh Allen did. We know, we've heard that Josh Allen doesn't want that number one receiver that always wants the ball. He wants to spread it around.
Yep.
But DJ Moore works best when he's the number one guy. Give me the ball. His first year in Chicago, the same thing. He had 1,300 yards. Why? Because he commanded the ball. 160 targets. Almost 10 targets a game.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, so why can't I be nervous about the addition of DJ Moore when what he brings and his skill set is not really what we've seen under this offensive coordinator?
So based on what you're saying, he's going to need more targets per game than Diggs was getting.
Yeah. Diggs was averaging I think it was 6 or 7 a game for his 4 years.
Yeah. That sounds about right. And what was funny about that is when he was playing, it didn't seem like much, but every game he's coming down with 100. He's coming down with 80, 90. You know what I mean? On 6 or 7 targets. Right. DJ Moore's highest, like you said, is in 2021, 163 targets, 93 catches. Right. After that, the next highest is 2024, 140 targets, 98 catches, only 966 yards that year. His best season, 136 targets, 96 catches, 1,364 yards. He started off, he came into the league 135 targets, 118 targets, 163, 118, 136, 140, and then finally last year, 85. Yeah.
And you have 50 catches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was good in 94. Oh, snap, he's got a 50
for 682 yards. That's a Gabe Davis season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so
I mean, that's why I sit here and I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer. I'm just nervous that it doesn't jibe. How is Josh? Somebody said, what did they say?
Where?
I don't even know. It said something about, hold on, I can find it.
You can
there
do
it is.
it.
Josh Allen didn't cry when we brought in number one Diggs and Cooper. Cooper was never brought in to be a number one. He was brought in to be a plant. Diggs, how was Josh Allen going to complain about Diggs when Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen in 2020? Josh Allen didn't become Josh Allen until Diggs came in. You saw what Diggs did with CJ Stroud. You saw what Diggs did with
Hey, what the hell are you doing bringing in this good receiver in here? Why?
And the fan base they're skeptical of me.
Do you
don't bring me good players.
Signs outside, people are saying 17 plus 14 equals 6. You think I want that on my conscience? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, after Josh Allen felt like he was forcing the ball to somebody, he was like, I don't really like this feeling. I don't like that aspect. So that's when he's saying, I'm good without it. They said. Now that I don't know if he said now that Diggs is going to be said when Diggs was going, like, now we can spread the ball around and I don't feel like I need to force the ball anywhere. Yeah. And to Steve Lynn's point here, he said, love how IGB has talked about it, always replacing Max but not Benford like he's some lockdown instead of an unathletic late round measurable system team move Trey White. Now, while calling him a system team move Trey White is kind of that's tough. I think it's lazy. Because what it is people go with the narrative, and I'm going to be misquoted later, whatever. The narrative that Benford is a top 5. Is he or is he not? That's not the point. The point is Max is an unproven, unknown. He's supposedly, sloppy, wet behind the ears, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. IGB is this stalwart, physical guy who gets in people's grills. That's also not known, but he reminds me of Christian Benford. What they don't mention, though, is boundary and field cornerbacks have different responsibilities. They have different skills, there's different traits, different mentalities. And IGB was brought in as a boundary only. Max is a field safe cornerback. So the real competition is Christian Benford and IGB, unless you want to play IGB out of position.
Thank you. I mean, I'm sure they're saying this because of where they have IGB lined up on the depth chart. Yep. They have IGB right behind Hairston, which I don't know what their thought process is, but this would definitely be in line with, hey, this guy was a boundary corner in college. Let's turn him into a field corner.
Right.
Why? This guy was a safety his entire career of football. Let's make him a linebacker. Really?
Right.
You mean to tell me you couldn't find a guy who actually played linebacker to come in and play linebacker? You thought this safety would be better than every option at linebacker? Really?
Yeah.
Like that's where we get mixed up at, because it's like you don't even consider whether or not these moves make sense. You fall right into this pit of, because they have the job, they're the authority. That doesn't mean they're qualified.
Right.
It doesn't. When you go and look at these people's resumes, like go look at the Hall of Fame coaches and then go look at these people's resumes and tell me if any of it lines up. Because if they're freaking I don't know, if they're give me a Super Bowl winning coach. If they're Bill Parcells.
There you go.
If they're Bill Parcells, sure, let him do whatever the hell he wants, because everywhere he's been has been a success. Okay? Like, that's fine. If Sean McVay walks in the door, you bend over and do whatever he asks you to do. Why? Because since day one, the man has had his team looking at Super Bowls damn near every year.
Yeah. Except for the years when they said we're not looking for a Super Bowl. And it meant it.
Right. Right. Like, whatever they like, that's when you just shut up and listen.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, question it.
Yeah, I mean, even if we're right, if we're wrong, like you said, we don't know anything, so we can question, right? Why not? I'm not an authority. You're not an authority. We can question, or should we not? I mean, it's just a tough thing when you're fighting against the stream. Sometimes,
Yep.
You're fighting against it. Toriano Pride, I think Toriano Pride he actually as an all-time slot. I like him a lot. That's why I think Toriano Pride could be a slot, and Kilgore could replace CJ GJ after the season if CJ GJ decides not to act right or not want to come back next year, because we don't have soul food. But I mean,
Pride reminds me a lot of Nickel Roby Coleman.
Yeah,
God rest his soul.
Yeah,
like that style of physicality, and he was a smaller guy too. I think Roby Coleman was 5'9" too. The same story on Pride.
Yep.
But he was one of the guys that I looked at in college that I liked, and I think he's going to do a great job here.
Yeah, I mean, he went to Mizzou. He was a very, very physical guy there for his size. It's like you always want a guy that doesn't know that they're small.
Yes,
and that's what Taron Johnson was when he first came aboard. He wasn't. I mean, Pride is smaller, but who was it? Was it AP? I forgot whoever it was, but I remember Taron Johnson being a rookie, and it was a goal line run to his side. He got into the slot and went head up with like Adrian Peterson or whoever it was, some guy he had no business even trying to contact, and he made the stop. But the thing was, you're not supposed to do that, and you're not going to tell him that. Toriano Pride is the same guy. You're not going to tell him that. So I like that. But see, the conundrum here is now you have Kilgore, who you can put at safety back there with Bishop, who is the cornerstone of this defense. There it is. And the partner role is where we're trying to figure out. I think Kilgore under CJ GJ for now, especially, love it. If you want to get him on the field early, put him in that star role in the slot. Where it's another safety. Sam, I got you focused on that running back, right? Right. Right.
Yeah. So really quick before we jump into the game planning conversation, because that I really wanted to just jump as soon as you started talking about the targets for DJ Moore, because that matters.
Okay.
Before we get to that, really quick, where is it? This is not a thing. this is not a thing. The fact that the defensive coordinator had to come out and tell everybody it's going to take time tells you what we have in the locker room right now is not exactly what we need.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if you listened to who was it? With Eric Wood. Man, I wish that dude got small. Eric Wood, I'm like, you look great. You look great.
Doing a good job shrinking down.
He did, and I mean, he's got to be 250, 260, which is ridiculous. But at any rate, when Jim Leonard was talking about how they're just throwing as much as they can at the guys. We want to overwhelm them. We want to give them all these. We want to bombard them until you get that side hit, is what he said. The side where, when I see that, that's when I know I've given them enough. Right. He said, I don't know where their best fits are right now. He said, I have an idea, but I'm not sure if this is where it's going to end up. And where I thought about with that, and I'm not going to get too far into it, but when I think about, they said we're friends, bro. We think every year we're going to win Super Bowl. I think I get it, but I'm the opposite because I'm used to bad things happening. So I'm like, no, something's going to happen. We're not going to win it.
Isn't that the point of exactly what we're talking about? Like, isn't that the point? Instead of taking a step back and looking at what you have and being realistic about your potential, it's okay to hold hope on the back burner. But to start every season with, we're going to win the Super Bowl, like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, like, the field you're up against now is significantly better than when you were chancing that in 2021.
Yeah.
And 2024, I keep saying, like, I'm going to die on this hill. 2024 was an aberration. We should not look at 2024 as, a legitimate, like the Bills can recreate that. You can't. They had an abnormal amount of turnovers that year that they got on defense. The fact that they were surprising teams for the first time with this new playbook, this new run-heavy offense, the second you got to 2025 and people knew what you were about, they shut it down. Oh, well, we were still a good offense. We still scored, 30 points a game. Like, the asinine nature of standing on that as what makes your offense good is frustrating to me, because statistically you can use that to compare yourself to other good teams. But if the goal, again, they hate us, but they can't debate us. If the goal is a Super Bowl, then it's not about how good your offense is. It's not about how good your defense is. It's about what are you doing to execute the goal. Mm-hmm. And the point here is you don't want to be good. You want to be dominant. Think about the team that won the Super Bowl. What were they? They were dominant in that game defensively. Now go and look at the Eagles win. They were dominant in that game. When the Chiefs won on offense, they were dominant. That's what wins Super Bowls, dominating teams. The last time we saw the Bills dominating anybody was 2021. Yeah.
And that's something I sit and I think maybe it was McDermott with the not keeping your foot on their necks. Mm-hmm. That's the character flaw for me. You got to want to destroy everybody. Yes. Hurt feelings.
Thank you.
They make more than I do anyway, so hurt feelings.
They'll spend a little bit of money. They'll be fine.
Yeah, you're Deion Dawkins. You're playing against Trent Williams or something like that. He makes more than I do. I'm trying to hurt his feelings.
Yeah,
he's still going to go home and cry in his millions of dollars. He's still going to get into his Olympic-sized swim pool. He's going to go down the slide with his little duck floaty on. But while we're playing in this field for 60 minutes, I want to dominate. I want to destroy. I want them to be mad. I want to fight after this game. Remember, what was it, Jim Swartz and Harbaugh, whoever it was, and the handshake, and he hit him too tough, and he got mad at him. Remember that? Then what was it, when the players carried off Jim Swartz off the field, got pissed.
He was pissed.
Yes, that's spare no feelings. Yes, do this, and it's always what we got. We're good here. We're good here, but where are we great? Where are we great? And if people look at Josh Allen, he's not a conventional quarterback. No, he's not great as a conventional quarterback.
He's Brett Favre.
He's a gunslinger. He gets frisky with it. He's off. He's off. What is it? Schedule. He makes things happen with his feet. He's fearless. Yep. So if Joe Brady's going to say, do that all the time. He's not, because you got Kyle Allen behind him. Yep. That told me right there. We not going all out with this. We gonna pull a little bit back. Yep. But no, you don't. Mahomes tore his ACL. This is Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. People think this dude might be the number one quarterback in the league. And Andy Reid's like, so? I got Gardner Minshew. We didn't do anything with him, but I got him, And when we're talking about the Bills and Josh Allen and and being 30 and still not giving him all the weapons that he could have. We're massaging weapons. Khalil Shakir should be the slot guy. That should be him. He should be a benefactor of two other guys.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we got Khalil Shakir and DJ Moore and whoever's going to be over here. We don't even know who that is yet.
You want to hear something crazy?
What's that?
It's going to blow your mind. You ready for this?
What?
I might even have to take a step back after I say it.
Uh-oh.
Okay. If the Bills were really serious about changing the culture and making this whole culture surrounded around championship focused, like nothing else matters other than championship, CJGJ would not have been the only free agent acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Bills were truly serious about competition and keeping Josh Allen sharp and making sure that there was a much more serious nature to the way that they approach the game in locker room and practice, whatever, I think Jameis Winston probably would have been the best option as a backup quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny you say that because we've talked about it, and what he can give you behind somebody. You can give him as a starter.
Right.
So that's the floor of what you want for your backup.
Yep.
instead we sit here and we say Josh Allen are blessed. Okay. Well, if we're Josh Allen or blessed, then why do we have all this money spent elsewhere that doesn't really do anything?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be up against the cap, over the cap, there should be a second way to win besides just Josh Allen.
Thank you. Like that, bro, that that is the point. And when we're talking about having a desire for better, that is better. That's the biggest part of it is you're putting all of your eggs in the Josh Allen basket, right? And you're expecting that him being there is going to make everything else just work. Why? Well, because he has just made everything work. But is that the best utilization of all of your assets? The answer is no, right? Because the Bengals could have just said, well, we got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and they're inseparable, and their chemistry is incredible. We don't need T. Higgins anymore. The fact that your quarterback had to come out and say, you better keep my boy, even he understands. Like, it's not about having good enough. You need to have the best.
Right.
Like, if I'm healthy, this offense can carry the whole squad. We don't need a defense. Yeah. They proved that when they went to the Super Bowl. It's the best defense they ever had going to a Super Bowl. They were 26th overall. Like, what are we talking about right now? Right? So I'm saying all this to say, and we can get into the scheme stuff because I do think scheme is really going to be the biggest factor that changes things in the way that this team executes in games, right? I think one of the biggest gripes that we had about this offense, about this defense, was they don't make in-game adjustments early enough. Mm-hmm. And I think offensively, that's been very true the entire time. Offensively, even with Brian Daboll at times, the game plan seemed to be, okay, if what we did in the first half didn't work, we're just going to go pass heavy in the second half, and Josh is just going to light teams up, and we're going to come back and destroy you, right? And then under this, kind of condensed formation iteration of the Sean McDermott influenced offense under Joe Brady, it's been, we're going to, you all right?
Yeah, I'm
cool. I'm like, under Joe Brady.
I'm out of here.
So under this iteration under Joe Brady, it's been, okay, if we aren't able to fight with our right hand, we don't have a left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're just kind of stuck. That's the way it was last year. We're just kind of stuck. Like, we can try a bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, all we have is, well, just go deep, throw a 50-50 ball. You know what I mean? And we can't do it because we're not going over the middle. We're not throwing intermediate passes. No, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so let's start here. Pete Carmichael.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of touched on this a little bit when I discussed Pete Carmichael's presser in PPC on Saturday. And I want your thoughts first and foremost on how you see Pete Carmichael affecting this team based on your awareness of him, what you know, what you've heard, all that kind of stuff. Like how, like from an offensive coordinator standpoint, how do you believe Pete Carmichael affects this team?
The only thing I can think of with Pete Carmichael is that he was under Sean Payton, and he was in New Orleans with Joe Brady. So he knows, in theory, what Joe Brady's going to do with the offense. He knows how to install it. He knows how to teach it. If Joe Brady's doing, what he did or any iteration of what he did in New Orleans, Carmichael will be able to extend the knowledge on past what Joe Brady can do as he oversees the rest of the team. He's still going to be calling the plays. So for me, I'm not really certain, what to think of Carmichael or how much value I should put in him. It's more so for me, Joe Brady's offense, Carmichael's just gonna delegate it. And he's gonna oversee to make sure it's run the way he knows it's supposed to look. But no, I don't even know if he's ever called plays, and has he ever been an OC to call plays?
He's called plays before, but I think for 10 games he was calling plays. I think Sean Payton might have been hurt or suspended or something like that. And he was calling plays then. I can check on the entire history. Give me 1 second, but yeah. So you were saying?
No, I'd have to look and see exactly what the Saints did under him and how their philosophy really looked.
Well, it's a good thing you asked.
Okay.
So let's go through this real quick here. I want to take you through his strengths and weaknesses. Okay. And all right, here we go. So we all know Pete Carmichael is highly regarded in the NFL, hemisphere, right? And he's more well regarded not for his play calling, but for his play design and his game planning, the way he can draw up schemes on a week-to-week basis, going into game planning for specific teams. He's one of the best when it comes to that. So his forte is not really play calling at all. In fact, one of his weaknesses is in-game play calling. When given full play calling duties after Sean Payton's departure, this is when he was with the Saints. Carmichael frequently came under fire. Fans and analysts often criticized the situational awareness, play calling, and predictability, especially on first and second downs, and inability to adapt to modern offensive trends.
Yeah, this is where the flat comes familiar. Yeah, this is where the flat comes upon me because I don't like it. But people are gonna fire back and say, well, Joe Brady's got his stuff together. It's just McDermott told him don't do anything. And for me, if I have a new head coach who's never done a job before, who's kind of raw at being an offensive coordinator, I would like somebody that's a little more in tune with how to call plays and run plays and design plays in a modern offense against the teams that we're going to see this year. So that gives me pause. I mean, if you're in the pool of thought that thinks Joe Brady's just got it and he was just neutered by McDermott completely, we're good. But I gotta see, like the little boy. I gotta see because I don't know. It's so easy to say McDermott was the reason for everything, but everything that we saw on offense was Joe Brady's idea for the iteration of what McDermott wanted. So, yeah, McDermott, of course, every coach says, I want to look like this. I want to look like that. I want to run this many times. Every coach does that. So it wasn't the overlord.
Right.
It's the fact that Joe Brady and McDermott weren't in sync, and Joe Brady couldn't run the offense the way McDermott wanted him to.
Yep.
But the thing is, that great eraser, number 17, number 4 now, they made some of the offenses that we saw look better than they were. Because we saw when Joe Brady dialed up, schemed up passes, how easy it looked, how much separation we got. But why did it start there? Was it because he knew I'm good? Was there an albatross off his shoulder? Was it a breath of fresh air? I know I'm about to be released, not fired, but right. I know I don't have to listen to this clown anymore because he's going to be gone. Or what is it because we saw it? We saw the offense actually look like they knew how to design plays and get people open. Where the whole season nobody's open, no separation, no this, no that. So how does Carmichael come in a Buffalo and design or scheme guys open? That's what I want to know. And if we look at a preseason game, we look at OTAs or mini camps and training camps, and it's like, okay, but I don't want to breathe too much life into the training camps, because every year it's a star. It's somebody is ripping it to shreds, and it doesn't translate. It never translates.
It never translates, bro.
So what's the point? To the point where I watched Talking Buffalo, and the main host, he kicks off his Sunday guest during August, because the Sunday guest like, to hell with training camp, F that. And he doesn't want to hear it. So he's like, you're not coming on in August. Okay, fine, whatever. But it's fun. It's exciting. We got to temper it, because I still need to see how it looks against other teams. And do we go into a cocoon? Do we go into our shell when the real bullets fly? Are we going to run back to the same offense we ran last year? What are we going to do? And that's the stuff I need to know.
I think Albert disagrees with you. He says, okay, no adjustments in games is just a wrong take. 2025 alone, week 1 Ravens, week 3 Dolphins, week 15 Pats. All games where our defense played lights out second half after sucking all game. Your response, sir?
I
don't have one. Move along.
No, I mean, there were intermittent adjustments. It did happen at times. But I think more so the adjustments occurred because of swings and momentum. Especially the Ravens game after the Ed Oliver fumble, after the Keon Coleman high point the ball on the sideline in the fourth quarter, when Keon took over. He took over the fourth quarter. You can say what you want about the dude, but that was his quarter. That was the Keon Coleman that we know can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so the adjustments, we had adjustments, but also especially in the Ravens game, since I was there, the weather wasn't really best. Oh, we're talking about the playoff game, but the Ravens game this year, it was high on emotion.
The regular season game?
The regular season game, but it was high on emotion.
Yeah.
It was deafening in there. It was loud. Josh Allen got mad because people were leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing with a chip on their shoulder. So I don't know if it was adjustment as much as just a change in mentality, a change in their dog in them, if you will.
Yeah.
Because we saw it. We're like, oh, you doing that to the Ravens? It's over with. Yeah. Over with. And that carried us to the rest of the season, knowing we could do it. Defensively, a lot of injuries. Nothing was in sync. It just didn't work. So I think that we can't say there were no literal adjustments, like literally none, but not as many as we would have hoped.
I think there's something to be said about the nature that you kind of just described with, and fans are notoriously praising this aspect of the team of whenever you doubt us, we prove you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's something uniquely weird about the fact that this new iteration of Bills under this regime of the last 8 years has been very specifically similar to all of the regimes in the drought. Every single time the Bills were felt disrespected in any way, anytime they were, huge underdogs in a game, they always overperformed.
Mm-hmm.
Always overperformed. And the team with Josh Allen, like Stephon Diggs, whenever they were any kind of underdog, or whenever people started talking stuff in game, or whenever like that's when there was a fire lit under them and they came back on you. Right? Now, the reason I'm kind of bringing this out is because I do think that there's something in the air here in Buffalo where we all feel like underdogs, and we all become empowered when it's time for the underdog to become the overdog in the key moments, right? But the reason I say this is uniquely weird is all of those moments have amounted to what over the span of the last 20 to 25 years? Have amounted to what? We have the greatest comeback in NFL history as a notch on our belt. And that meant what that season? Did we win a Super Bowl? No. So much of our history is tied up in almost was, but man, we fought like hell. That's the story of the city. We almost were New York City before New York City would have even had a chance to be born. We almost were. But we had the rug pulled out from up under us. I'm talking about the history of the actual city here. That's been it's been so ingrained in our culture, we don't even notice that it's there. And it takes someone who's almost completely uncultured like me to point it out. And I'm not trying to take this as like a cross that I'm bearing, but like nobody else sees this? Nobody? Like, anyway, back to the conversation. Mm-hmm. To answer your question, Pete Carmichael did call plays. He called plays in 2011. He took over play calling for the Saints in October after head coach Sean Payton suffered a severe leg injury. He called plays for the remainder of the year, including a dominant 62-7 win over the Colts in his debut, helping Drew Brees set the NFL single season passing yards record. 2012, he continued to call plays for the full 2012 season while head coach Sean Payton served a 1-year suspension. All right, so both happened. He was injured and he was suspended. 2016, Carmichael took over solo play calling duties quietly for the Saints Week 1 opener, though Payton later reassumed the primary duties later that year. And then 2022 to 2023, Carmichael took over as the primary play caller again for the Saints, following Sean Payton's initial stepping down and subsequent departure. Let me just get it here. Okay, I'm going to pull up his record as a play caller. Give me 1 second.
Simply said that best players running back, dive, and duo. They ran a hell of a lot of duo for a team that has a running back like James Cook. That's insane. And the hook and ladder is our best place in case.
Okay, so in 2011, he was 8-1 as a standalone play caller that season. The Saints finished 13-3 that year, and total net yards for their offense was 7,474 yards.
It's 2011.
It's 2011.
Okay.
2012, he was 7-9 as a play caller. Called plays for the entire season. And they finished 7-9. The offense ranked second in the league in total offense. They scored. They got 410.9 yards per game. That's a lot in that day. In 2012, bro, 410 yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
Golly. 2016 interim caller. They don't have a record here. Yeah, they don't have a record there either. So yeah, I mean, he had one really good year, went 8-1, and then the following season 7-9.
What were the other years? Did you know?
2016 he was an interim play caller, and then 2022 to 23 he was a play caller.
All right, so
you want to pull those up?
Yeah, 2016. Okay. 2016 they were 7-9. You said 2022.
2012 he was 7-9. 20 I don't have.
16 he was 7-9.
16 he was 7-9. Yep. Okay,
so then what you said 22.
22 to 23.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
We could just get to 22. 22 they were 7-10.
All right, so I think that does fit.
And to add to 22, they were 22nd in the league in scoring.
In 22?
Yeah.
Oof.
They were averaging 19 points a game.
Oof.
Defense was good, ninth overall.
So this was also under Dennis Allen, who is a defensive-minded head coach at the time. Yeah, struggled, ranking near the bottom in third down efficiency, red zone scoring. I mean, there could be context involved in that. But again, only one of the times that he served as a play caller did he do extremely well, and that was his very first time, which was 2011. After that, when teams, got the book on him, he struggled. What does that mean, though? Because I'm going to give you guys some positivity. I truly think that his strength is something that the Bills have not had since maybe Brian Daboll, and he from what I know of Pete Carmichael, he might even be better than Brian Daboll in game planning for the week, right? One of his strengths is elite scheme design. During his long tenure as the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, he was integral to building weekly game plans that generated record-breaking numbers with Drew Brees. Sean Payton calling the plays with Pete Carmichael helping design the plays. I remember the game that we went to where the Saints just ran all over us and scored like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the same game that there was a fight like behind us or something like that we kind of missed. But I remember sitting there just thinking like we should have known that the Saints team would do this to us, because I think at the time they were pretty good, but they weren't like elite, Drew Brees, prime level years good, you know what I mean? But they ran roughshod all over us, and that was something that the Saints really hadn't done much of all year, but they did it on us. I seeing that firsthand, and then seeing what that offense did to the league for many years, with Pete Carmichael being a part of that scheme design and all that kind of stuff. I think if we can capture Pete Carmichael, because remember, even though the Broncos offense last season really wasn't that good, in the playoffs they were, right? And that matters. When you can take a guy at Bo Nix's level at that point in time in his career and completely go away from what you were known to be in the playoffs, which is this struggling, hard to score team, to a team that scored 33 points on the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bills defense was no slouch. I say whatever you want to say about the rankings and the players, whatever the case is, like Sean McDermott still knows his way around a defensive scheme and game planning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But even with all that being said, the potential of, and I think this is really what it rests on, because let me just say this first before I make my point. One of Pete Carmichael's other strengths is preparation and detail. He excels in Monday through Saturday. He is excellent at finding schematic wrinkles, designing plays, and setting up an offensive identity. That's something we haven't seen here in a very long time. But the point I'm trying to get to here is, I think Pete Carmichael's existence here like skyrockets the potential of what Joe Brady could become as a play caller. And I kind of hate saying it that way, because I really wish that I could look at Joe Brady and say all of these things I'm saying about Pete Carmichael about Joe Brady. But the reality of it is, if Joe Brady has success this season, it's going to be off the shoulders of Pete Carmichael, because great game planning is, well, I should say elite game planning is something the Bills have not had in a very long time. When you think about some of the things that they've come out last year trying to do offensively, and even in 2024 when Josh Allen won an MVP, some of the stuff that they were doing in the first half just wasn't working. And the difference was the ability to go into halftime, come out and throw a few wrinkles in there in the second half, and combine that with Josh Allen just being freaking Josh Allen and making plays happen. And that's really what saved the last two seasons. So if we want to take that next step, and we're going to compete against some of the defenses that we're going to be going against, the Broncos defense, the Houston Texans defense, the Chargers defense, the Patriots defense, like some of these defenses are going to be lights out this season. You know what I mean? The Ravens defense is going to take a bump up with Mike Minter coaching that defense now. So I think the idea of being able to have elite game planning, and when I think elite game planning, I think of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady sitting in the room just talking about what they see. Like, can I have that? because they destroyed the entire league with game planning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think this team could possibly be with Pete Carmichael and Joe Brady calling plays. I should say Pete Carmichael scheming and Joe Brady calling plays for clarity's sake. I don't want Pete Carmichael calling plays. I don't want him doing that. No, thank you.
I would love to see Air Coryell here.
Well, that was the other thing. So I looked into Pete Carmichael's scheme and how it fits Josh Allen's skill set. Okay, so check this out. Rhythm and quick passing is a big part of Pete Carmichael's schemes. Okay, Carmichael spent 15 years calling offenses heavily rooted in the quick game, utilizing timing and rhythm throws. How did Brian Daboll start most games off? Timing and rhythm throws, getting Josh Allen into the mode. Once he saw Josh Allen get comfortable, now we can launch it down the field. Now we can go. Perfect. Okay. This perfectly matches Allen's development by helping him to get the ball out of his hands faster, reducing hits taken, knowing that in this system, Allen relies on pre-snap reads to identify coverage and deliver precision passes to his playmakers. So all of this is to say the focus first and foremost is going to be timing and rhythm, right? Getting the ball out quick, getting into a rhythm. Now, here's where it gets interesting. And this is kind of what made me think about our conversation about having 2 number 1 wide receivers and why the Bills may not have gone that way. Okay. A big part of Pete Carmichael's scheming and what he's familiar with is the utilization of tight ends and running backs in the pass game. Okay. Carmichael's offenses are historically known for heavily featuring tight ends and running backs in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There is a vertical aspect to his scheme. The concept is it's a staple of the Carmichael system, utilizing play action to stretch the field vertically. So what I want people to take from this is a lot of what we saw the Bills do in the passing game last year with play action and route concepts and stuff like that. Pete Carmichael's already familiar with that because that's where Joe Brady's taking it from. He's taking it from what he learned under Sean Payton and how he's kind of adapted that to the new age NFL. And Pete Carmichael's basically just coming in behind Joe Brady to just clean up all of the during the week stuff, the game planning and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at how the scheme aligns with what Josh does well, the incorporation of throwing to running backs, which is something you and I have been crying for years of having James Cook on this team and not using him in that way, knowing that his 1,600 yard season could easily be a 2,000 yard season in total yards. Like, this is a home run. This is an absolute home run. And if the Bills utilize this the way that they're supposed to, that's what will make the Bills elite on offense. It's not going to be the connection of Josh Allen to DJ Moore. It's not going to be Josh Allen being the playmaker. What's going to make this offense elite is going to be Pete Carmichael and Joe Brady's ability to scheme, game plan, and have the offense execute on such a level that defenses just cannot handle it. And that's what the Saints were. There was so much precision built into the scheme and the game plan and the execution of it that teams couldn't handle it after a while. They just couldn't compete. They couldn't stop all of it. I'll take that all day long if that's what we're looking at as, take this to the bank. Sure. Okay. I'll sign up for Super Bowl right now. If you're telling me that that's what I get, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Kamara's under the New Orleans Saints umbrella. Kamara's been no less than 1,300 yards except for last year. He's had a couple double-digit touchdown seasons, passing or receiving and rushing. I think James Cook's a better running back than Alvin Kamara. Shoot me, don't care. But I think this offense has to have Josh Allen understand, and buy into the fact that you're not alone. I think he needs to see that people are going to be open. He needs to see it on tape. I think they got to prove to him more than he knows. They got to prove to him that they are competent and can put him in the right position to flourish in his offense. I think the biggest hurdle for Brady and Carmichael should be convincing Josh Allen this is going to work. That should be.
Yeah,
you know he's going to buy
true.
into it. It's going to be the easiest sell of your life. But that's the thing you got to do first. You got to tell, if you don't do that, if you don't do this, but do this is nothing but good things are going to happen. And I think that at 30 years old, if he's hungry for a Super Bowl, if he trusts in the guys around him, this could be an explosive year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would love to see his third 40 touchdown season. I don't count the rushes. I count just passing. He's had 2 other ones so far. I would love for this to be a third. I'd love for him to be the MVP again. I'd love for, me and Jay Ham were talking, was it Friday maybe? He asked a question, do you think Josh Allen's going to have more attempts passing than last year or less? And I said, if I had my way, it'd be less. Because under Joe Brady and Carmichael and Josh Allen, his new offense, I expect deeper passes. I expect us to have, more times of scoring plays than not. So that inversely shortens the time Josh Allen's on the field. So I don't think he'll be able to throw 460 times. We're thinking more like 500, I guess. 500 is my level for him. Not because he can't, not because I think we're going to have to get James Cook involved, Ray Davis involved, Ty Johnson. Not that. I just think that the 7.8 yards per target that he had, average depth of target, should go up.
Yeah,
to 12 to 13, and on those targets should be receptions. The receptions, Shakir should be able to catch the ball and take one to the yard. DJ Moore should be able to take one for 30 yards. Skylar Bell or whoever else is on the other side. It's a perfect storm. So I don't think there's going to be regression. I just think that there's going to be a maximization of the opportunities that he gets on the field this year.
Yeah. Really quick, I just want to go through the wide receiver route concepts, because I think this also is going to say a lot about what we can expect to see on the field. Historically, what?
Jay Ham said, I was confused why you answered that way, but I forgot to ask.
Answering questions before folk can even get to the question.
It's funny because I was at work and I'm like, I typed this long thing. I was like, I got to go. I don't even know what I sent. I had to.
Okay, so check this out. So historically, Carmichael's pass game utilizes strict spacing principles where routes rarely intersect. I love that.
That was a huge problem last year. We had got too many guys close together.
Too many obvious man beater concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Really. The design spreads defenders thin across the width of the field, giving a quarterback a definitive post-snap roadmap. For Josh Allen, these particular route concepts align with his ability to throw with massive velocity into tight windows and attack vertically out of play action. Okay, so there's the option route that he'll have available, high-low concepts, which we saw a lot of high-low stuff with the Broncos last year. They did a lot of high-low stuff. Dagger concept is a big one. So dagger concept, if I'm not mistaken, is on the same side of the field. You have a streak on the inside and a deep dig on the outside. And that's supposed to. So the streak is designed to take the safety away from the play. And let's say you got DJ Moore running the deep dig, and you want to get him into the open field with just one defender to beat. That's a great route concept for like if you wanted to put Coleman in the slot or motion him into the slot, or even have Shakir just, go against the nickel corner and see if he can burn him deep. Take 2 guys, take the nickel corner, take the safety, get him out of there, clear space for DJ Moore to come over the middle. We used to see a lot of that stuff with Stephon Diggs, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big time Stephon Diggs route. So you got those, you got 3x1 isolations, which we've seen Joe Brady do a lot of, the 3x1s. What else? We got scissors and wheel variations. We actually saw a lot of the wheel stuff with Joe Brady early, and we also saw that with Brian Daboll. So we kind of know what the wheel routes look like. Those wheel scissor combinations or variations rather are going to be probably more designed for tight ends and running backs, specifically to kind of get linebackers beat out on the edge, which should be nice to look at too. So those are the top 5 route concepts that we should expect to see under Pete Carmichael. And realistically, when you go through all that and you hear all that, it's like, well, that doesn't sound much like what we saw on the field, or even what they're telling us, in these press conferences that we should see.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a much more, open style of offense, which sounds a lot more like what we saw Joe Brady do in Carolina early on. Spread them out, go deep, nothing, no routes cross, like all that same kind of stuff. So I, doing this kind of, shallow dive into Pete Carmichael kind of gave me a little bit more hope of, not just being reliant on Jim Leonard being, becoming this elite defensive coordinator and having to save the day. We've got an offensive mind in there that can kind of serve as the backbone for what Joe Brady is trying to accomplish on the offensive side of the ball too. So I don't want to say I'm like sold. I still have to see what happens. But I think this is definitely one of the ways that the Bills can, create their own success and make it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to tell anybody, not to be sold. I'm not going to tell anybody that you're wrong. I'm not going to tell anybody that they're the same old Bills. I just have to see it.
Yeah.
And that's not even a discredit what you just said. It's just that, I'm just playing on both sides here.
Yeah. Remaining objective, which is
I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Sometimes it's harder than others, but
isn't it funny? Really quick. Isn't it funny how like I'm sitting here talking about like something I'm like optimistic about, and the first thing that we get to is like, yeah, I got to see it. Like, did I freak out? Did I get pissed off and throw stuff at you? Like, no, that's what we're here to do. It's what we're supposed to do.
Everybody pooed on my side of the ball, so. The defense, Greg was and Oliver,
I surely was one of those people.
And they tell me that I'm being negative when it's time to poop on somebody else's side of the ball.
You did great at holding back all of your emotions on that one. Yeah. Oh, you love the offense, don't you, Aramis? You love the offense? How surprised?
I mean, for me, the offense is uninspiring only because, and it's not about the scheme. It's as long as 4 is out there, 17's out there, something gonna happen.
Yeah,
something gonna shake. And I'll take it a step further. As long as 10 is out there, we know what 10 does with 17.
True.
It might not be the best that we can get, but it's solid and it's consistent. As long as we start running duos all the time, if we can get James Cook on the outside, maybe every once in a while, maybe I don't know. We could get some guys that could pull. Osiris Torrance, he's not pulling anywhere. So I don't know about Corbett. I don't know about I know Anderson can do it.
Corbett was getting beat like crazy in Madden. I just want to put that out there.
Why did you play him?
Because he's significantly better than Alec Anderson in the game.
I don't care. I played with 50 overall offensive linemen.
He's a 74, and Alec Anderson is a 66.
And I bet I was still rock with it. You'd be like, how is he doing this with Alec Anderson?
He's not Samoan. You can't just throw Alec Anderson in there. It won't work.
Yeah, that's true. I saw something. It was funny. This is like the most racist, unracist thing I ever saw in my life. It broke down positions by race. Quarterback, white.
How did you find this?
I just happened to come across it. Quarterback, white. Running back, black. Wide receiver, it was black. Offensive line, Samoan.
Right. I think I did see that. Yes, I think I did see that.
Defensive line, Samoan.
Yeah.
Linebacker, black. Linebacker, no, edge, black. Linebacker, white.
It was so insulting, but it was right.
I was like,
yeah.
I think one of them was like either this or you had to have a black girlfriend or something. I was like, wow, that cut deep. Like that took a hell of a turn. Maybe I was tight end. I'm not sure, but
that's way left.
I was like, I don't know if I should read this, but I don't care.
This might set something
might
off.
Set somebody off, but I didn't write it. But I'm like, I just need my Samoans on the line.
Right.
And, I put it in Discord.
Okay.
And I want to say this again.
Please.
Travis Clayton is now on the defensive line, huh?
You love it.
You're freaking Rika. Who would have saw that coming? The rugby player that's made a living out of tackling his whole life
I think this
finally
is brilliant.
Gonna get to stop the run. Head mind blown. Mind blown. 6'7", 300 pounds. What's put him in the freaking middle of the defense? How about do that?
Joe Brady's a genius.
He's a freaking genius. I was like, when they said that, my nose bled. I think my head compressed. I couldn't believe that this was a revelation. Well, we got Travis Clayton on the defensive side. Yes, he's going to get cut, but we want to see what he looks like on defense first. Like we should have did 2 years ago. I can tell you, I tried to play football later in life, and offense is hard to just, you can't learn it. It's hard. You got to do this for your whole life to do that. Yes, here we go again, Laura. I'm glad you're still here. Now, problem was stopping the run. We bring in Jordan Phillips. We bring in Fadarian Mathis, who does not hold a baseball bat the right way. Did you see this?
Yeah,
I was like,
not.
Maybe I can play. If he does that, I might
like,
do it again.
Word, you batting right-handed with your left over the top, bro? Like, what are we doing?
I'm like, all right, I like it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's common sense. It was common sense. The guy, he made a living being in rugby scrums. He made a living tackling people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to teach him how to tackle. You don't have to teach him how to chase. You don't have to teach him how to do anything a defensive lineman does.
And he looks pretty quick out there, too.
He is quick.
Yeah.
The freak. What are we doing here?
How old is he now?
20, 26, something like that, 27.
Oh, I thought we wasted his twilight years. Not his twilight
we
years.
probably did.
F.A.
F.A. Obata was, I think he was older when he came over, and he was pretty good. But
yes.
You put him in the right position. We're going to put this dude at tight end. What are we doing? Put him at defensive tackle. Ed Oliver was hurt. Defensive tackle. We had no one tech. Defensive tackle. He knows that he don't know how to drop in coverage. No problem. Hit the running back. We couldn't stop the run. The guy that hits running backs in his sleep when they pass the ball numerous times on one play. He can find the ball in a muck, chase it down, and hurt it. Yes, give me that. Okay.
So what else are you burning on this week, bro?
A lot of that. Let's see. What else did I have? Where do I want to go with this? Okay. Now that I didn't blew a gasket on Jim Leonard and had to listen to offense, so try to talk defense again. No.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I was accused of not pumping people up, not supporting people, not calling them out in good fashions.
Are you surprised?
No, but let me try again. And this is where they're like, this guy stinks. I am still excited about Caleb Elarms Orr, Terrell Bernard, and Dorian Williams. I'm actually starting to think that Dorian Williams is the odd man out.
Really?
Yes. I don't think it's Terrell Bernard. I think it's Dorian Williams.
So you think Elarms Orr is going to take Williams?
I think he can take that spot.
Ooh.
Because he has more coverage upside. Even though he's raw, he has more coverage upside. He's got the same downfield mentality. Athletic is all get out.
Elarms Orr is bigger though, right? He's
like
6'2", 236.
No, well, Dorian was like 240.
Is he?
Yeah, he's big.
Oh, man.
But it took a long time to figure out. I know. I've been saying it forever. Anybody watching this show, I have been saying it forever, never. Anybody would listen. But I didn't watch that one. I didn't watch that. J-Ham. Full disclosure. Usually I do these shows. I get prepped for these shows like a day or two in advance, but we didn't do a show on Friday. We went to the Greek Fest on Saturday. I didn't do anything yesterday. And I got to that, I said, we're doing a show today. I got to figure something out. Laura said, how's it going? I said, I don't think I got it for the show. I don't know. But yeah, no.
That's what you was talking about?
Yeah, I didn't see that yet. I it started to come on, but I didn't see it yet. Let's take the phone call. We got to get out of here.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Nico, what's going on, man?
What's going on, brothers? How you guys doing, man?
So what's up?
Great. What's up?
Not much, man. I was contemplating what you said earlier about today about, I forgot the question, how you phrased it about how long are we going to be able to accept what is going on with the team as far as trying to get to where we need to go. I think the only way, I think we're going to at least have to accept it until Josh Allen is no longer with the team. Because at the end of the day, Josh Allen is the only reason we get to go anywhere because of him. We have a chance because of him. The minute he's not on the team, that's when you say it's not enough is enough. I mean, we could do it. I personally got him He's too great to not be able to at least win a couple of rings. That's how I felt about LeBron when he was with Cleveland the first stint. He's like too great not to have a championship under his belt. You just can't deny that type of greatness. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. My question to you would be, what would be your initial reaction, your knee-jerk reaction, if we get to year 35 of Josh Allen's life and he does not have a championship under his belt?
Now, I have to. I hate to answer a question with the question, but
Okay.
he's 35. He doesn't have a ring. What are the causes? Injuries?
Let's assume
Status quo.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Let's assume that everything stays the same. So all of the same ailments that have caught this team, whether it be injuries on defense, whether it be crunch time decision making, whether it be drafting bluffs, whether it be lack of movement in free agency, you name it, all just same status quo stuff. If everything stays the same and we get to year 35 of Allen's life and he does not have a Super Bowl under his belt, what say you?
Failure as a team. You just have to put that. You just have to put it that way, because the way that Allen is built and the way he's, his style of play, he's always going to give it 110%. So it all comes down to what was around him, and like you said, status quo. The team failed him badly at the end of the day.
So here's where I'm going to tickle your brain a little bit. Okay, what's the difference between year 35 and year 29?
Prime.
What does that mean?
I mean, he right now he's in his prime. 35 is no longer in his prime. He's not jumping over dudes. He's not tumbling through dudes. He's not going to get that extra 5 yards when he wants to, because his body won't allow it anymore.
Okay, so thank you for that. So my next question would be, what makes you use that skill set, I guess, to define success?
That skill set is his best attribute. Is what separates him from every other quarterback on the league.
Okay.
What he can do physically is what others can't do physically. Joe Burrow can't do that. Lamar can't do that. Lamar's and to this point he's been injury prone. So you can say something about Burrow. Mahomes, he just suffered his first big injury, but other than that's what separates him from the rest of the quarterbacks.
Okay, let me ask you this. I'm going to name you 3 quarterbacks, and I want you to tell me if they can do what Josh Allen can do. You ready?
Go ahead.
Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, and Sam Darnold.
Hurts is the only one that has. I think the only one they can do as far as physical wise. You're talking about, right?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to get to is, you said the difference between the perception of failure at 35 and failure at 29 is Josh's prime and his ability to do what he can do. And I guess what I'm really trying to bring out in your answer is, and I'm really trying not to put words in your mouth, which is why I'm asking the questions. But
Sure.
Let me just get to the point here, because I don't want to hold keys up any longer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I want you to get everything you got to get out too. I think when you say the difference is Allen's prime, it kind of sounds like you're saying that because Allen is still in his prime, that gives us the best chance to win a Super Bowl. And I think to that, I would say, well, how much does Allen's ability to jump over people and run away from people matters when Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold have won the last 2 Super Bowl? I'm sorry, not Matthew Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold won the last Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, who really isn't on Josh Allen's level, has won multiple Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts, who really isn't on Josh Allen's level, has won a Super Bowl and been to multiple in the time that Josh Allen has been in the league. I don't want to. I don't want the mindset to be, Josh Allen is the solution and his athleticism and what he can do that nobody else can do is the solution. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that, and I totally get you. I didn't say his physical attributes is the be all end all. You've got, of course, you've got to surround him with the talent that he needs to be successful. You're not, you just can't do a one man. He can't be a one man show. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And like I said, I didn't want it to be sound like if it was one be all, that's the reason we're gonna. No, he needs to be surrounded by talented people to get the job done. That's what Stafford has. He has the coach, and they brought in the talent to help him, especially at his age. He can't. He has to have all these weapons, all these attributes around him because he just can't. He just needs it. He just needs it 100%. Jalen Hurts, same thing. He's not an elite quarterback. I don't consider him an elite quarterback.
I agree.
Elite of elite. So what do you? So he's limited. So what do you do with the limited quarterback? You bring in the talent. You bring in the scheme. You bring in the coach. Same thing you can say about Purdy. Purdy is not in nobody's level. But what he does have is the weapons and the coach.
Yeah.
So I think that's why if he's 35 and got no rings, then they did a disservice on him. They failed him badly. Period. Point blank.
And I think that's kind of what I'm getting to. And I mean, it was probably a selfish way of me trying to prove my point in your point, which I apologize for.
No, you're good.
But yeah, I just, when I think about our reaction at 35, I agree. I think everybody's going to see that as a failure, but I guess I'm kind of wondering, why don't we see where we are now as a failure when we've had the greatest quarterback in the NFL for the last 5 years at least? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a matter of in a way they're just taking him for granted.
That is exactly what I think is happening. I think because he's been so good, we assume that every year we've got a shot, and so we just dismiss all of the other failures.
Yep, 100%.
Yep. What else is on your mind, man?
Oh no, not at all. One last question, and then I'll head out, and then you guys can answer either here today. In the AFC, who has a better? I mean, I'm talking about if everybody's healthy and 100% healthy. Who has a better, not wide receiver core, but receiving cores than the Bills?
In the AFC?
In the AFC, because in the NFC, who's who over there. But in the AFC now, contenders, Super Bowl contenders, who have a better receiving core than the Bills.
Let me pull up the AFC teams really quick, just so I can. For some reason, I can't think unless I'm looking at the team names.
Probably Cincy.
Cincy for sure.
Okay.
The Broncos have a better wide receiver core.
No, receiving, not wide receiver, just receiving. I'm talking tight ends, wide receivers, running backs.
So Cleveland. Well, no,
so
Cleveland
all of their pass catchers
is a big
pass catchers.
So Cleveland's a mystery. I mean, Cincinnati, just based on the face of the two wide receivers, is it. You don't even need anything else with that. Right.
And I think that's why I said Broncos too, because you're talking about Cortland Sutton and Jalen Waddle. I mean, do you need to go further than that? Like the Bills don't have anybody that like DJ Moore will compare with, Cortland Sutton and Jalen Waddle, but there's nobody else after DJ Moore here that would compare with
the Jets. So you got a quarterback.
Huh?
The Jets, if they had a quarterback.
Yeah. Because
Patriots, Jets,
Boy Wilson. Yep, Patriots. I think have better pass catchers. Who else? The Texans. So Tank Dell is back. He's back at he was there for OTAs. If he's all the way back, I'll take the wide receiver core that they have there too. Nico Collins, the guy they drafted in the second round last year, and then you add into that Tank Dell. I think that plus the tight end, they still have Dalton Schultz as their tight end.
So.
I'm pretty sure they do. And then who's the running back they just got? Oh man.
The Texans?
Yeah, the Texans. I'm willing to put the Texans up there too as having better, more established pass catching weapons. After that, though, so I named what?
So the Bills probably top 6.
No, I in the AFC, I would say the Bills are top 5 because I mean, again, the only teams I really see ahead of us is Patriots, Bengals, and
You see the Chiefs in front of them
and the Texans. No,
I don't either. I just want to see if you were saying.
Yeah, no, I mean the one guy that they have that's an impact player there is going to be
behind bars.
He may not even play at all. So no, Travis Kelce's past his prime too. I don't see that being an issue.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for taking my call, brothers. And
good
love the show, brothers.
Have a good one, yo.
Take care, man.
All right, late.
All right. Let's get to a few comments here.
All right, Albert. He said, "Don't do that." He said, "You voted Bill when I was the only one that voted or for rookie impact. I don't think he's going to be the most impactful rookie. I just think that he has a shot at taking over Dorian Williams' position if Dorian Williams doesn't so that he can cover passes. I mean, I think it's all about play recognition. If he can do it in the passing game, he's going to get that's his job because he is better in run defense at this point in time. I think Eli Mazur is really raw. I think we're excited about him, but he's raw. And he might need some time to get out there and really show what he's got, especially at the speed of NFL. But I wouldn't be surprised either way if he gets on the field in any kind of capacity early on.
Okay. Sam says, I'm looking at the Franklin guy. Already got him starting next to Bernard on Madden. Dude got a 61 overall flying all over the field.
Where's the safety? Is it Sam Franklin? I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I thought Sam Franklin was a pretty decent player, but it seems the Bills don't want to give him a shot at all. Where else? Senke says everything stays the same. Josh will be hurt an entire season. I don't know if I say that. I mean, they would make an adjustment if they saw Josh really come under fire like that. Let's get to some of the later comments here. Adam Scott, I don't think we've seen you in here before, bro, but welcome. Hurts, Mahomes, Brady all had defenses that came through in crunch time. If you're referring to, what has held the Bills back, I'm not going to argue with that. I do agree. I mean, even Peyton Manning when he won a Super Bowl. I mean, Drew Brees when he won a Super Bowl, he had a pretty good defense. So, you need playmakers on both sides of the ball. I think that's been one of the things that we've maintained on this show in particular is you need playmakers as many as you can get. And it seems like the Bills have been kind of, steadfast and hard stanced in trying to manufacture their own superstars, which is a noble effort. But if you see, after 2, maybe 3 years that's not working, you need to begin to shift your focus to, other areas where you have been better in the past. And I think in free agency, the Bills have been very good in the past of finding guys on other teams that may not have been what that team expected them to be, but they came here and they became big time impact players. Rasul Douglas was a clear example of that. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. I mean, do I need to keep going? Jerry Hughes was on that list. So free agency and trades and things like that has been a much better venture under Brandon Beane than we've had, in any draft class in any year. Shift your focus. Show us that you can be objective and understand where you're weak and go away from your weakness and focus on your strength. And then the following season, how about you get somebody in that you trust to do better scouting, to give you better information, whatever it takes to empower your decision-making as a general manager to get better players on rookie contracts.
Yeah. That's the gotcha. That's the change. So you definitely gotta shift the way you're acquiring your talent. You got to shift the way that you're orchestrating this whole thing. Whether it comes from a mentality standpoint, from a I trust young guy standpoint, from a hungry guy standpoint. You talk about competing and people that want to get better and people that want to take jobs. Everybody's got to love each other, but you got to want to take their job because that's the only way they're going to get better. The only way you're going to get better. But I can tell you the only way that your computers are going to get better is if you call Hi Mike High Tech. Because you know why? Because you don't want your old tech to be new furniture. You want to play your PlayStation 1 again. You want to play your Atari again. You want to play. Let me know if I'm overstepping my bounds, but I feel like you can do it. Call Mike up. Let him know that Post Podium Podcast sent you to him to fix anything that you have that's not working that should be. All right. And also, make sure you tell Mike Rich.
His name is Rich.
Okay.
Rich.
Make sure you tell him that Sean McDermott is never the president. He's never going to be the president, never was the president, and never will be a bill again. But what I can tell you is offer him some Reese's tea. Make sure you offer him some Reese's tea because
he might even take payment in Reese's tea.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, he won't. But you got to get the brain fog out of there. He forgot what we went through before. You know, you forgot what the last 9 years of Bills football has looked like. Josh Allen, James Cook, Khalil Shakir, and what's his name again? Drink some Reese's tea. You'll figure it out. Don't listen to me though, because I'm not a big tea drinker. Listen to my friend over here, my comrades that have tasted the tea and really been very happy with the tea that they've had. Listen to them and them only. Get yourself a case. They didn't have it at the Greek Fest. Damaris, gonna work on that.
Yeah, they do need to work on that. You're right.
But on top of that, make sure you tell Damaris and the crew that Post Podium Podcast sent you. Click that link in the description, and you guys have a good night.
All right, you know what time it is. Let's get to that music. Okay. All right. If you're hearing that music, that means it's time for us to jump out the window. So, do what you do best and just be you. That's all you got to do. If you want to, maybe kind of be nice to us and help us out a little bit and help empower the show, you can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and maybe even be a little selfish and do something for yourself in the meantime and hit that bell, make that thing so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. Like, I will let you guys know if we're going to do a show Friday. Like, we announced before we're kind of going down to one show. It has been a little bit easier for me to get to the Madden content and all that kind of stuff when I can get the bulk of the work that I need to get done during the week on Friday. So I'm going to keep you guys posted. I will let you know by Wednesday whether or not we're doing a show on Friday, and you and I can discuss what that would look like, either way. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out, if you're a member, make sure you check out the new Madden video. If you have not checked it out yet, the last public episode of Post Podium Conversations is out on our YouTube channel. Make sure you go check that out as well. That's all I got. You got anything else?
Got nothing.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Y'all have a great night. This has been Post Podium Podcast, home of y'all truth, no sodium takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
40 Keys.
All right. Peace out, y'all.